the basketball coach for the Barberton Magic. Coach Hazard, welcome to 330. How are you doing today?
Good, Matt. Thanks for having me on.
You're so excited. I can see it. You're just radiating with light that you're excited to be a part of this. And I'm happy that you can take time out. Obviously, at school today, able to break away from the education and be able to sit down and chat it up a little bit with me. So, Coach, right off the rip, everyone's wondering what's putting the magic in the Magics this year. Like, what is it? What's in the water out there? Have you guys figured out a new supply line? Or, I mean, what's going on out there in Barberton?
No, it's honestly, it's been a magical year. From day one coming in, I know everybody's aware they went 0-23 last year. And first day I came in and I thought I seen the athletes running around and I said, it's the most talented 0-23 team I've ever seen. So, I was confident. I was confident from the get-go. They came in really day one. A lot of these football players that played on the 0-23 team, a lot of these guys are stud athletes. And they've been successful in football for years. So, they came in right off the bat just with that dog mentality, and they practiced really hard for, pretty much 90% of the year. So I didn't think we'd be this good, but I knew we'd be competitive.
So obviously coming out, it's crazy to think one team like Revere can get everything going at the beginning of the year, because coming out of that loss against them, I know there was conversation around that you were like, this was like one of those moral victories. Like, this is a win for us because our kids realized we can compete. Then this past week, you come out and you get redemption. So how much was that a focus from the beginning to the end for your players where they started to believe? And it's like, wait, we can't wait to get a chance to play these guys a second time around, because you thought you saw dogs in the beginning. Here they come now. So what has been that message from playing them the first time to the second time?
Well, the game was the first game of the year. They hadn't played together. Revere had played a couple games, and our kids wanted it so bad that opening night. And there's 1,500 people there. I mean, people were jacked up. It was almost like our guys were too hyped up to play. Yeah. And we didn't play very well. We didn't make any free throws. We were 4 for 15 from the free throw line. Couldn't make a three. Played hard, but I didn't think we played well. And we lost by a point. So we get in the locker room after the game, and I'm like, you know what, guys, that's a great loss. I mean, we're going to be pretty good because we couldn't play it any worse than that. And I'm glad we didn't win that game, because then I think it would have put our egos would have blown up to something that we weren't. And losing it really motivated these guys. I mean, we went on a tear after that. I think we reeled off 11 in a row after that loss, I think it was.
I think the only team that you guys stumbled on was North Canton, and that's a good team, a North Canton Hoover team that is really talented down there in the Federal League. That was one that stuck out. Obviously, the Talmadge game where you guys almost put 100 spot up because you guys decided to play umpteen overtimes, but that was a great game that a lot of people were talking about, because Talmadge has been a little bit up and down at the time, but still you guys were able to hold them off, and I know that got a lot of people in the 330 talking. Now you're getting ready, and you guys got this. You got a game tomorrow night, which is frustrating to me as a spectator, because you're wondering, are they going to keep the foot on the gas pedal, or are you totally shifting everything over to playoff mind frame? Because the following week, everything's gearing up for that. What is that? February 28th. You guys are playing Warren Harding, correct?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So are you still gas pedal down for tomorrow night?
I look at every game the same as a coach. It's hard to say one game means more than the other. It's not in my DNA. Like, I'm full go all day, all night, Every day that ends in Y, I'm full go. So CVCA is just as big as any game to me. You got 2 league champions going at it. 2 teams that have really overachieved all year going at it. And the beautiful thing is I don't think either team has anything to lose tomorrow night. It's not a season-ending game. It's kind of a statement game, and it's a gear-up game for the playoffs. I think it's gonna be exciting. Grinnell's Palace will be rocking. I mean, you got to know there'll be 1,500 people there. So
it's amazing. And I'll be honest with you, if you had anything to do with the uniforms, I'm a uniform guy. Your guys' uniforms are probably one of the top 3 in the area. I love the checkered pattern going down the side. If you stray away from that, coach, you're going to upset me. I'm serious. I'm a huge fan. You're probably like, why does this guy even care about uniforms? But it takes me back to my days of playing Madden and just creating teams and the uniforms and all that. So I like that. It's that swag, and it's nice to see, because as much as people want to sit and talk about some of your always powerhouse teams of basketball, anybody can beat anybody any given night. So when you start getting to the playoffs, you start lining this up. When you got into that and you guys ended with Warren Harding, if you guys win that, or I should say, coach, when you win that, you'll have Maslin coming up following, I think it's March 2nd. I'm making sure I'm getting these dates right, because it feels like we should be into playoffs, but we're not quite there yet. You guys, all right. So your mindset coming in 0-23, everyone's talking about that. As a coach, you instantly want to just wipe that slate clean. You don't even want to talk about that. So I don't really want to go in that direction of continuously talking, because that's not the same team. You're a different team. You come over, you were coaching previously at East, and now you're there at Barberton. What does it mean to come back and coach at Barberton? Because you talk about that first game, and it was rocking, because the man, the myth, the legend walked back into the court, and he's coaching now. So what does it mean for you to honestly come back to Barberton, to where it all started?
I mean, I get goosebumps thinking about it. I knew the support would be great, but I had no idea that the support would be like it is. I mean, we've had anywhere from 1,200 to 1,700 at every home game. I mean, it's been absolutely rocking. The support, the donors, the fans, I mean, it just has never ended. And I didn't envision this. I envisioned some excitement, but I didn't envision it being like this. It's been special. It really has. So happy for the fans and the community to be able to watch a competitive team again. So happy for these seniors who had to go through what must have been a nightmare last year, and to now win a league title. It's just fun. It's been a fun year. It really has.
To be able to come in, and obviously the excitement is around your return, a different team and a different mentality. What are you doing to gear up for your future? Like, what is your fingerprint that you're putting on beyond? I mean, are you working with the youth down there? Where is that? Because I think a lot of times people don't realize, to build a program, how difficult it really truly is, because it just is. So what is the fingerprint that you're going about your business?
Got to bring the parks back. That was the first thing when I got the job. I said, we used to have park workers, 18, 19-year-olds who would get paid to work the parks. I said, that if we don't get the parks back, we'll never get the program back. We have to get kids playing all sports at all the parks all the time. And Barberton, we're a unique town. We have 11 parks in town. Mm-hmm. So we have the means to be good. It's just about motivating these kids to get out there. So I'm really close with the parks and director guy. We've got these park jobs back. They're ready to roll this summer. So, hopefully the kids come out and play. I mean, that's the key. Yeah. Getting them there outdoors, playing all the time.
What, any camps, anything like that you're running throughout the off season that you're going to do?
So we're having an AAU program through Barberton. Kids going in the 9th grade and kids going into 8th grade. Calling it the Magic City Stars. So we're gonna and we're allowed to have 3 Barberton kids on each of those teams. And then any of the local talent who wants to try out is welcome to come. That's going to be big for building a foundation. The parks are going to be big, obviously. We do a youth camp every summer, so that's been happening. So just a bunch of things we got to do. It's really just about having that gym open all the time, all summer, having kids access to the parks. Just got to get them playing. That's been the difference. That's why Barberton went from a power to the gutter. Kids haven't been playing.
It's a different time. It's a different time than when you or I would go there. I mean, I talk to my son all the time. I'm like, you don't know what it's like to take a basketball to a park, and you're the man if you leave with your basketball, because you could go there, lose your basketball, lose your dignity, lose your ego, because you had no clue who was showing up, right? And my son will never know that. He's like, looks at me like, Dad, what are you talking about? I'm like, trust me, man. Like, you don't take a nice basketball because you might not come home with it. But with that being said, Tell me about your team. Who has stepped up to relay the message that you're as a coach? Because always with a coach, you need those players, and it could be the whole team. It could be a few. Who's stepping up and really being that floor general for you this year that has taken over that leadership role for you?
Several guys. You don't get to 18-3 without several guys winning a lot of games for you. Our star's been De'Arion Holly, junior kid, transfer from East. He's averaging about 18 points, 10 boards a game. He's been our go-to guy down the stretch. He blocks shots, he rebounds, he scores. He's definitely a D1 talent. So he's been, kind of our focal point. Kid named Cameron Kennerly plays the 2 guard for us. He's been a glue, probably our best defensive player, getting around 12 a game. Always guards the other team's best player. Got a kid named Robert Davis, who no one knows who he is. I mean, this guy's talk about bringing your lunch pail to work every day. This guy has been just a titan for us. Barely played last year. Star receiver for the football team. If you watch him in warm-ups, he doesn't look like much. But this kid, he plays as hard as you could possibly play. He's our 6th man, and he's won us at least 3 or 4 games, just sticking his nose in there and doing all the dirty work. He's probably going to be playing D2 football next year, but this team's not approaching 18 wins without him. Kenny Larry is another football player who's been big for us. He's won some games, hit some big shots, made some big steals. Mike Jones is our center. He's had some really good games offensively. Cartier Tyler, our point guard. He's the head of the snake, so to speak. You get the ball past that court, you got to deal with him, and he'll get in you. He'll get in you. Now, if you can get past him, you got to deal with the rest of them. But he's the head of the snake. So
I like that. So,
a lot of guys. Corey Martin, senior leadership. Really just a glue guy. Very intelligent player. Xavier Macon, a football, our star running back. That guy brings his A game every day. It's just depth has been key for us all year.
It sounds like something you've pushed since the beginning is, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And that's something that a lot of teams don't realize in this day and age. It might be 5 guys out on the court, but the 5, 6 that are sitting there, it's just as important because when you go to those away games, that is your cheering section. Those are the guys that, bring the juice and continue to, make that engine work, so to speak. So with the playoffs, we'll wrap it up with the playoffs. That's a tough thing. So the collision course, and I have to say it, I know as a coach, you're not looking past Warren Harding. There's no way that you're looking at anybody else, but a potential matchup with St. V lingers. And I like it because I've had the opportunity to watch some of your guys' film, and I've seen St. V play this year live. I like it. I'm very interested. I think that hopefully, Coach, as you guys get through Warren Harding, I know they're in 3-3-0, they're Youngstown down that way, and Massillon. Those are big names to be able to take out. But how much are you looking at the whole thing of I've got to win 8 games? And are you looking at everybody in every scenario? Or is it really, truly just I'm on to the next game and we're not even worried about that? Because coaches, sometimes their aura rolls right over to the team. So how much do you have to be disciplined, or are you putting that out there? No, guys, this is who we're going to have to go through, and this is who we're taking on, and the snake's coming at him, the head of the snake. I like that. I might steal that. So take that. What's your thoughts?
One at a time. One at a time. If you start thinking 2-3 games down the line, you'll never make it there. So tonight it's CVCA. After that, it's Harding. And I do want to point this out because there's a big flaw in the playoff system. So we're seeded, we seed 1 through 74. We get seeded 8th. So here's the problem. After they seed everybody, they let the coaches go where they want to go. So in a fair world, 8's playing 60 something, right? Out of 74 teams. Right. Yeah. So Harding's about 27. So there's your flaw in the basketball side. In football, they seed you, they place you against who they don't let the coaches choose. Yeah. Basketball, the coaches kind of have some say so. So it gets a little goofy. So
It does.
I don't know whether it was, I don't know whether it was Harding, really wants to, save their season with the upset of us or what. I don't know why they jumped on us, but I'm definitely going to use it as a motivating factor for our guys.
And see,
Like
that's
these
that
guys.
whole part that people don't really take in consideration with the OHSA and what's been going on. And I agree, it's kind of wonky. And then they were even talking, I believe, next year it'll expand divisions, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
So
7 divisions next year.
and there's a lot of teams that are in D1 that I'm like, why are they there? And you kind of like, and even in D2, they should be back to 3 and so forth, and it just keeps moving back. But I see that too. I've always wondered that. I'm glad you brought that up, because as a coach like a Warren Harding or a team like that maybe their season hasn't went as good as they could, who are we upsetting? Who do I want to send a message to? And as a coach on your side, you're sitting there going, all right, who wants a piece of us? And if somebody's signing up for it, then hey guys, they want it all. So let's give them what they want and some, because we're turning it up a notch, and it's playoff mode. And I'm telling you, I would love to be a fly on the wall, coach, when you give your speeches, because I know you're holding something back, and I can totally respect that. What's the message to your Barberton community as you get ready for the playoffs? What is it besides 1,400? Better be 2,800. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it'd be nice to sell out there, Jim, that night. Yeah. I mean, what can you say? What a town to coach for, what a town to grow up in. Just a gritty blue collar town that loves their sports, loves their kids, and supports on a weekly basis. It's an honor to coach here. It was an honor to play here. Just excited, man. I'm happy for the kids to be able to play in front of a town like that. When the East kids transferred over, I said, guys, you have no idea what it's going to be like at home games here. I mean, you have no clue. I mean, they went from playing in front of 200 to playing in front of 1,500. So it's almost like a small college, honestly.
Hey, that's goosebumps. I'll be honest with you, because I drive out to Barberton. I do. I've been out in there, and it's a melting pot of society. Like you every walk is there, and that's what makes it so unique about Barberton. And when it can all come together and the whole town generates energy behind their teams, it can get real special. I mean, we've seen it in football, and we know we're going to see it in basketball. Were you going to say something, Coach?
Yeah, so the message is this. Then this is kind of what I say in pre-games. I say, look, you got 32 minutes. They got to beat you for 32 minutes. 32 minutes of rebounding, 32 minutes of closeouts, 32 minutes of decision making, 32 minutes of just busting your tail. If they can do that, they deserve to beat you. But they got to do that for 32. Every possession matters. Every inch of that floor matters.
I like it.
It's grit and toughness.
We absolutely wish you guys nothing but the best. I definitely am going to pay a lot closer attention, having the opportunity to now have gotten to interview you. We will be following. We wish you nothing but the best. I want to tell you, thank you so much for taking a break out of the education day and being able to sit down and chop it up and be able to talk to me a little bit. It is very much appreciated. Always welcome to come on the show. Would love to have you back. So
thanks, Matt. Appreciate you for having us.
Absolutely, Coach. Have a great rest of the day, and best of luck against CVCA tomorrow. One game at a time.
Go Magics.
Take care, Coach. Thanks. Well, guys, there you have it. Coach Chad Hazard with the Barberton Magic. Guys, hey, I'm telling you, you might as well get jazzed up. He got me super excited there. I like that. It's that mentality. It's that chip on the shoulder. I like that. And I think it's bleeding over into his team. Defense. He talked a lot about defense, right? And that's what's going to have to be able to take the Magic on as they want to make their playoff push. Where there was no defense? Absolutely none. Didn't see one drop of it, not even an ounce. The All-Star game, a whole